In this video, we're going to review integrating Firebase Auth with your Flutter application. This video focuses specifically on the Android setup process. Additional platforms are covered in separate videos. Let's get started by heading over to the Firebase Console and setting up our application. Off the main Firebase project, simply find the Android icon, click on it to start the setup process. There's a couple key pieces of information it's going to ask us for. The first is the Android package name. Now the Android package name is accessed simply by going to Android in your source directory, find app, source, main, and open the Android manifest file. The package name is a combination of the organization provided and the project name provided when you created your application. In this case, I left the organization as the default, com.example, and used ff_auth for the project name. Simply copy the package name and paste it into the field. The app nickname is anything that you would like to refer to this app as in the console. The third piece of information is this debug signing certificate, SHA-1. It says this is optional, but it's a good practice to actually include it because it's used for Google sign-in, phone number auth, and a bunch of other things. So to add that, simply hover over the question mark and click on See this page. There's a series of commands that are listed in here. Simply copy the command for your platform. In my case, that's Mac. In the console, simply paste that into your terminal and look for the SHA-1 certificate. You'll notice that there's two in here, SHA-256 and SHA-1. We're simply going to copy the SHA-1, come back over to the Firebase console, and paste that entry in. Once you've registered that, you'll need to download the Google Services JSON file and copy that into your app. So click on Download, and once that file is downloaded, we're actually going to copy that over to your Android app directory. And the easiest way to do that is simply drag that over and drop that on the Android app folder. Make sure it's in the Android app folder and not a different folder. So you'll see here I have Android app Google Services JSON. If we come back over to the Firebase console, you'll see there's additional steps. These steps are actually required for a standard Android application. Since how we're doing Flutter, there's a slightly different flow. So we're done with this page. Go ahead and click X to exit out of that. While we're in here, we want to do one more thing. Go under the Authentication tab, find sign-in methods, and we're going to scroll down to Anonymous. These are various services that you'll be able to enable to utilize in your auth process. In our application, we're going to do anonymous sign-in. So go ahead and click on the Edit Configuration and enable that service. Click Save, and you'll see that Anonymous is now enabled. As you go through and start to use some of these additional ones like email password, Google sign-in, Apple, you'll need to enable those as well. That's it for the Firebase console. The next steps are to switch over to the IDE and start to set up the Flutter project itself. One of the first steps is to include that Google Services JSON. That's required. Now to utilize this, we need to add a couple settings to build Gradle files. The first one that we want to look at is the Android build Gradle file. So look under the Android directory and find the build Gradle file under the Android directory. In here, there are three things that need to be in place. We need to have the Google repositories at this top level. We need to have the Google repositories in the all projects. And we need a new dependency in here. Usually the Google entries are already in the build Gradle, but we need to add the Google Services plugin. To add the Google Services plugin, simply add a new line and paste in com.google.gms google-services. And in this case, I'm using 4.3.5. To find the details so that you can copy and paste, simply go over to Flutter Fire, look for the authentication entry, and click on the documentation. This will give you all the details you need to know about how to initialize the Firebase Auth for your application. In here, you'll see Getting Started, and you'll want to go over to the Android installation on the left. And this gives you all of the details that we're covering now, specifically in this case, the class path for Google services. The next thing we need to do is go and enter the Android app build Gradle. And for that, we're going to add this plugin, Google GMS Google Services. So let's go ahead and copy that and move back over to our IDE. And under Android app build Gradle, we want to find the Android entry by scrolling down. You'll see I have a few other plugins entered. Just below that and above the Android, I'm going to add in the plugin for the Google services. As I click Save, I'll be done adding everything to my project. And that's all there is to integrating Firebase Auth with your Flutter application.